Bam! Going live. Welcome to the show tonight, guys. If ever I'm running late, you can bet it's because of something that's very important going down, or went down, or something. Am I late? Yeah, just a tad. But here's the thing: when you're the coach, y'all ask me to just sit till I get here. If you want to fire, okay. If you don't want to fire, you can go home and go back and go to sleep or something, whatever. Okay. So what we're bringing to the table tonight, and the other night, couple of nights, I don't know, weeks ago, whenever I had a stream on the difference between the foreclosure packages, and for some reason, it didn't show that I had anybody here. And my girlfriend said she left 2 comments and there was like 10 people there. I was like, what? Because, after I hear myself talk all the time when I'm editing these videos. And so, can you stop the foreclosure? Well, that's the question. The attorneys and all these people, I'm placing ads, you're saying stuff you can't do, whatever. Okay, well, so the foreclosure is part of the conventional process, right? And it's really hard to stop. Why do you think it's hard to stop? Well, y'all been trained to believe a bunch of shit that's not true when you learn how to believe some other stuff. Okay, but just stay focused. Can you stop a foreclosure? Well, okay, let's just take that for a second and chew on it here. Okay, so y'all know I played football in college a long time ago, and I boxed. Those are 2 things not smart people do. So I had to keep this shit simple. Can you stop the foreclosure? Well, wait a minute. That's a huge chunk to chew and swallow, especially if the foreclosure is structured. The process is structured by the same people that's screwing you over in an administrative process, in administrative court, where they get to whatever rules they want to follow. Okay, so okay, what if you looked at it differently? Instead of worrying about stopping the foreclosure, let's just do the check down. Now, I learned how to do the check down with my kids, and then I did foster care. My girlfriend and I, we did foster care for 17 years, so we've had 28 kids. 1, 2, 3. So you learn how to do the check down. Okay, when it's time, when there's 2 people about to get their ass kicked, because I'm about to get my ass kicked too. When you get to the check down with the kids, all right. Well, so when you do the check down, you check down to the most important thing. Okay, like the room clean. The most important thing is your friends don't see that shit or whatever. So you move that kid in the basement, maybe, possibly. You do the check down. I mean, now you can't always do that, okay? But, it's like negotiating kind of, sort of. Okay, but in this case, you have to, because the judge ain't going to tell you that you won shit or give you anything or any of that. So you got to do the check down. And so instead of looking at it from stopping the foreclosure, check down is going to be stopping the court process. Can you stop the court process? Oh, now you're looking at stopping the court. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different if you look at it stopping the court process. Okay. So, and attorneys ain't going to tell you this shit. So, how can you stop the court process? Well, what if you responded to their bullshit with your $200 million counterclaim? $200 million counterclaim. Okay, before you put that shit in their face, you added their asses to it. They add their own assets to their own shit as plaintiffs. You can add them as plaintiffs just like they add more defendants when they pay these people to snitch and lie and all this other stuff. Add their asses. So now, and this is what we did with Anthony, now you got your cha-ching chang on a stinking table. $200 million stuck in their face in a counterclaim in their shit because you added their asses as plaintiffs. Oh, okay, so yeah. This is how you roll when you go without limitations. Okay, we don't have no limitations around here. And when I communicate with people and I hear some shit, and I'm just going to people tell me. Well, the new people don't tell me that. So okay, the people who don't do their homework are the ones that tell me I'm an asshole, or whatever, or I need to be nicer, and I need to no. I'm a coach. My job is help you jumpstart your critical thinking process before your shit get thrown out in the yard, or before somebody get hauled off the jail, or all of it. And so I'm not going to be a good coach if I'm sitting over here worried, okay, if I say something to this person, I'm not even going to say a name, because if I say something to this to this person who invested in my program that they don't want to hear or whatever, or that, they made a mistake. I don't really have a nice way to put it. This is what we need to do to change it. You screwed up, go check, see, you tell me what you think we need to do, you need to do, and then it gives me an idea where you're at. That's how the coaching thing works. I don't just Okay, but let's get, stopping the court process. So if you come in and you sue the state is the one that violated real estate deed fraud when they ignored the statute that says they're supposed to deliver your deed to your house, and they registered your deed in their office. And the registration of that deed allowed them, and the first illegal lien was the mortgage lien. I know, Coach, you're talking crazy. Think about it. If there were several people who own property, all of those people who own would have to be present to sign. So the fact that they accepted the sick from your happy asses, because usually it's more than one person that signs, prove that you own that shit already, and that smell stink. So stopping the court process, when you look at it that way, it's a little different situation, because you're not filing shit in their convention or whatever. The difference is now, instead of going after them for the non-judicial foreclosure, to whatever, you're going after them for the reason why they're able to do this shit to you in the first place. Oh, we mentioned the other stuff. People always ask me, just, fit my case, whatever, bullshit. Oh, but, I don't have a mortgage. So they're going after your property tax. Yeah, well, bullshit. The goal is to get your damn deed out of their office, number one. Because until you do that, you don't have any control over shit. And any of my packages that I have for property is structured for that. People, well, I'm this, I'm that. It don't matter if it's foreclosure. If they're going after you the property tax and all you can afford is the foreclosure package, then get that shit and sue their ass. Sue the people coming after you for the property tax as a conspirator and jam their ass up, shut that shit down. See, this is the narrow-minded thinking that we've been indoctrinated to believe for so long. So, okay, so stopping the court process when you add the state to their own action in your counterclaim before you file your real lawsuit in federal court. Okay, don't be playing with me. Okay, y'all watch the instruction. Okay, if you don't crush the state court process, they're going to be on the phone to them fools over there, and they're going to be telling them, we got this. Don't worry about it. We just need you guys to just give us a little more time so they can move your ass up on the list to throw your shit out in the yard. Okay, so the first package that we have is not the premium package. It's been marked down to $500. When I had it down to $300, not a single person invested in it. It was sad. And I ain't even gonna lie here. Moved it back up to $600 the same day I sold 3 of them. That's some sad shit. Sad part about it is people make a decision based off the words on the screen, based off of the shit in their head that you can't stop nothing, based off a whole bunch of other shit, but they haven't went to the website at winningcourtnow.com. They haven't went to the website and took a look at what we have over there. They haven't done none of that. They just offer what they know, which what most people know about the illegal. You know what I'm saying? Because it was taught to you by the same people that are throwing you under the bus. There's the small banner right there. Welcome to the show tonight. We're not coaching tonight, Frederick. You can bring your question to the coaching table. I'm going to stick with what I got to talk about tonight. Yeah, getting your deed at the office. Okay, that's the main goal. There ain't no money. Well, if a shit got thrown out in the yard, you went through that or whatever, then I really want to ask them for something. Okay, but if you don't get your deed out of their office, there's no law that says your shit should be registered in their office. It does not. They tell you this bullshit, we need to protect it to make sure whatever, nobody can get on your property. That's bullshit. Okay, back in the day, if I wanted to get on your ass property, I showed up with something signed and notarized prior to what you got in your Bible. We didn't have to go down here and have these people pull it up. And once these people get shit registered in their office, okay, so now they can put the first illegal lien on it. And then they reclassify your shit from private property to one of their in Lawrence, Kansas. Usually it's 3 that I'm originally aware of, but Lawrence, Kansas said they have 13 different designations. I didn't know what that got to do with what we're talking about tonight. Yeah, man. Eddie from Florida, Melhair, welcome to the show. Well, Farmer Vaughn, I don't think you have my stuff because when you're using my shit, there ain't no hearing. I'll just tell you that right now. I had a foster kid that contacted me and she was having some trouble and was giving my foster grandkid a hard time. Yeah, and so as soon as she told them that I was helping them, then they decided she didn't need to show up for court. But the sad thing was that she was so happy about that, she's not going to court. And what happens when your ass don't show up to court? It's sad. But, so if you punch their ass in the face right, they're not going to want to have a hearing. The only time they want to have a hearing is if they got it all wrapped up and it's like a little theater. It is eerie. It's really freaking creepy. Absolutely creepy. Creepy as shit, okay? Especially in federal. And if you're going through criminal shit, they bring your ass in early in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and store you in the freaking freezer in the basement, chained and shackled. And then when it's time to rock and roll, they ship your ass up this little elevator thing, chained and shackled. Yeah, it's pretty creepy. Okay, but you ain't got to do all that if you get in the program and get your shit. So yeah, girlfriend, I'm going to say Florida is probably second behind California. I think this is a good point. I think the main thing is if it's a sunny area where they can set up and have condos and different and the attorneys are the ones doing that. So I think California is the worst, and I think I'm going to have to come with Florida being second. And I made this opinion based off of, well, California is the only state that I know that actually hires and pays these people $85,000 a year to drive around and clean stuff off the sidewalk and off the streets from so many people that have gotten kicked out of their house. Someone says, yeah, stop the court process. And when I started doing this, we had all these things, and I started working with this young lady called, her name is Humira, and she's in Pakistan. She runs the website, and I was kind of explaining to her, what my business is about and what we do. And then I think she puts it in a translator or whatever. She speaks Una, which I don't know what that is. But then she sent me back a text message. She said, oh, I understand now. I said, oh, great. So what is it we do? And she texted me back, your business goal is to offend people. Yeah. So we had to work on that, and we figured it down to that we're stopping the court process. That's what we're doing. Okay, so the lesser package, the not premium package, the 42 U.S.C. 1983 foreclosure defense lawsuit package, addresses, well, obviously, the due process violation. It addresses the due process violation because in judicial and the other two, they're coming at you with statutes and codes that they made up. They're not valid laws because they don't have an acting clause, titles, or bodies. They don't have none of, sorry, it's confusing watching. They don't have titles, they don't have a body, or they don't have the 3 elements that the Constitution and the federal law mandates that you have to have for something to be a valid law. So statutes and codes are not valid laws, but they have trained everybody to think they are, and they actually take your property and throw your ass in jail over this stupid shit. Okay, so 42 U.S.C. 1983, that lawsuit package addresses that. It also addresses the fact that they drag your happy ass into administrative court process, which is a total violation of your due process. And we add the Supreme Court to it because the Supreme Court is the one that comes up with the local rules for the court come from the Supreme, and they don't have a damn thing to do with the Constitution or nothing. It's ridiculous. Okay, so those are the 2 main things, and we got a couple other little things in there. Okay, but let's get on to the premium package. Now, the premium package is on sale half price for $1,500 right now. It addresses all the package things that we talked about already, and it addresses the illegal path that the alleged mortgage loan took after you got done signing and left the table. For those of you who don't understand, they took the stamp and stamp paid to the order of on it, and usually a bank vice president signs it, and then underneath the bottom of that thing it says without recourse and blah 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 blah. And pretty much what they did was turn into a check. Well, in my neighborhood we call it a check. In the neighborhood for these people that's doing this shit, they turned it into a security and process it through the Federal Reserve for electronic credits. And Modern Money Mechanics is a publication put out by these people that know way more about the banking, the fracking banking system than I do. They said that these people, the banks granted 9 times the amount that went into a demand deposit account. And I actually asked, when I first started learning the foreclosure shit a long time ago, after I got out from a government vacation, I asked them, the judge, that I told them in my lawsuit that I wanted all 9 plus interest. The attorneys got pissed and they objected. And you know, the funny thing was, before this shit happened, like the night before, I read the entire mortgage contract, the whole thing. I read every word on every page, and I'm a freak twice. Yeah, and on page 71, it said that I agreed to pay their attorney fees and all that shit if I went into default. I'm like, what the hell? I did not know it said that. Okay, but I read that shit. So, yeah. So when they started talking shit, I just, I said, objection. On page 71, they're over here saying that I'm just trying to drive up the process of litigation of this situation because I want all 9 times that Modern Money Mechanics said. Oh, and so I told the judge that on page 71, I agreed to pay their fees, so I'm not sure why they're complaining. Yeah, the judge started hammering. They don't like it when I'm talking. Okay, but the 42 U.S.C. 1983 stuff, the due process stuff, it also addresses the fact that the mortgage alleged loan took an illegal path. And there's like it says there are like 6 things that are missing. In the premium lawsuit, in addition to the other stuff, you're saying there's 6 things that are missing. And those 6 things outline the shit that went down that they don't want anybody to know. Okay, like for instance, I'm only going to tell you a couple because that's really all I can remember off the top of my head. One of the things you're saying is you and the lender agreed that the deal would be done according to the GAAP accounting principles. And those people can't say, because the lender don't have shit to do with it because there was never any loan. Remember? We talked about that at the top. Y'all ass keep up, okay? The lender had to do with it. So you're telling you and the lender agreed that the loan would be done according to the GAAP accounting principles. Oh, that's so badass. They can't say it wasn't because they'd be admitting that they violated the GAAP accounting principles are the federal banking laws that they're supposed to be following, and they're not following them. No, they're not. So one other thing that you're saying in the premium package is you're saying that you and the lender, now this is in that the bar would be repaid. That's whose signature created the alleged 9 times and that went the amount that went to demand. Y'all keep up. We're getting kind of freaky, creepy over here, but y'all keep up. Okay. Okay, so yeah, those are just 2. Now, the premium package also addresses the real estate deed fraud. And we come in with violation of the Tucker's Act, which is a federal law. And this is how we bring criminal liability to the table for these fools. One lawsuit also has violation of the Administrative Procedures Act mandated that these corporations had to have their policies and procedures in line with the Constitution. It's a federal law. Now it's on the administrative side, so you can't force them to give you money, but you can sure use it along with these other things. That's why we don't go in with just one thing, okay? Because, we're going in with $200 million for this other stuff, and then over here, since it's administrative, we can force them to change their policies. Tucker's Act is also a federal law, and the Tucker's Act makes it a federal law when the state violates your due 5th Amendment. And okay, I'm about to have fun here. In the temporary restraining order that we have in the premium package, we're going after the state. We're going to shut down federal funding going to the state. The spending clause of the Constitution mandates that if the state violates your 5th Amendment or your due process, they don't qualify because of the civil rights and all of that shit. They don't qualify to receive federal funding. Now, that's just something that I came up with one time when I spent a long time trying to figure out if I could shut down shut the money down. Now, you're not going to go sit down and wait on that. That's just the one of the punching documents that you get to file in their face if you invest in the premium package. Now, the good thing about the premium package is you get to have more fun. It's a lot quicker. They ain't trying. Okay, so let's just get on to it. So how do you stop the court process? Well, we talked about that. Adding the players to your $200 million counterclaim as plaintiffs, Supreme Court, the judge, the state, and then you file your lawsuit, the same thing. Okay, so let's just be clear here. How we stop the state court process is by using federal case law and federal acts in everything that we file in state court. The state court players can't respond to federal case law with statutes and codes bullshit. It's a wrap. Bam! This is the shit that we learned from the real-time feedback from all the people that have supported us and from my girlfriend and I, they can't respond to federal case law unless they are a federal attorney, have a federal, I ain't going to say license, bar card. I have one, but it's over there in my wallet. I carry it with me in case I need to show it to the police. Okay, stay serious. They can't respond to anything that you file that you get from my website in state court. So what they're going to do is move it over to federal court. They still can't respond to the shit on federal court unless they come out with a federal liar. Come on now. They do that shit. The judge over there, they move it over to the magistrate judge because the magistrate judge don't have any jurisdiction to be in your shit without signed consent from all parties. And they move it over to the magistrate judge, and the magistrate judge does what they need to do. They start making you jump through hoops. Oh, you need to file a show cause. You need to do that. Bam! Then they throw your shit out. And the magistrate judge don't have jurisdiction to do a damn thing in the case without signed consent from everybody. People are telling me, Coach, they're going to throw your shit out. The quicker they throw it out, the better. Who got time for all this bullshit? What I can tell you is when they throw the shit out, I can guarantee you they're not going to add a finding of facts and the conclusions of law, fact of findings and conclusions of law. Those are the two things that you need to have for your shit to get thrown out in a judicial setting so that you can appeal. Oh, I know. You can appeal and waste some more time while they're throwing your shit out in the yard in their conventional program. Or you can do what the people that are doing that left me the video reviews on my YouTube channel that are in the video review playlist, and they're still in the house. So you can do that. Okay, when they get to federal court and the federal court is accepting their shit and ruling, it's a wrap. Now we're finna sue the federal court judge. You know, if you're broke, then you just do a supplemental pleading. You can learn how to do a supplemental pleading to the bottom where that little tiny ass number is. And then you'll see supplemental pleading. And it'll tell you exactly what you need to be able to do a supplemental pleading. And you can do as many of them as you want to. It's pretty, as a matter of fact, that's what we're doing for one of the people on the team. And she missed a step and she got evicted, but her stuff's still in the house, and we're working on it now. So we're about to do a supplemental pleading, and we're going to address the fact that, well, when they moved it over to federal court, they can't move shit. And it's okay. And even if they moved it, they still can't respond in federal court because they don't have what they need to do that shit. So we're about to jam their ass up. And people are, well, what about the judge has immunity? Go read that shit. That's exactly what it says. I'm a free. And I remember everything in my head. All right. That's and your ass ain't in a judicial court. And we sued, and my foster kid, we sued Judge Catherine Theses. We're suing her in federal court now. Well, we sued her in state court, but they ignored it or whatever. For her property at 1211 Massachusetts. Okay, ain't nobody coming after. Well, maybe there might be someone there. Oh, Joshua Matthews, the divorce attorney out of Overland Park, was really pissed off when he had to drop that shit after screwing around for over a year and pissed us off. So we were kind of grumpy. And we went to federal court grumpy. And that's where we're at right now, in federal court grumpy. Yep, down. You don't want to go down the hole. Well, we like to do something different. Thank you, ML. I appreciate that. Yeah, we got demand for sanctions in there and we learned a little more about how to use the counterclaim better and bring in the criminal liability to the table. Okay, but the thing about the demand for sanctions is that you still asking them for something. Now, if you got time, you can screw around. But it's a bigger punch in the face when you file the counterclaim after adding those assholes to their own shit as plaintiffs and stick that in their face. That's how, you can always come in with the sanction later or whatever, but that counterclaim thing is, it gets some shit shut down real quick. But so Mark, I think what I'm going to suggest is that you go watch the instructional video for whatever it is that you bought, because there's things that you're supposed to do before you get to this. And the supplemental pleading is how you make corrections without kissing their ass and asking them for anything. So supplemental pleading, you can, as long as you follow what you need to learn. And I remember. Do I remember? I'm not sure I remember. I like y'all to go, because this is school, pro se legal school. We buy the tools, you do the work. And I have people come here and they're in a hurry and whatever, and I got a sell date, I got this, I got that. Your ass ain't here. Your ass is here to hold these people accountable for the reason they're able to screw you over. Now, if you get that right, the rest of that shit will get stopped. If you don't have a game plan for stopping shit, it's going to be a long ride to hell. So, I get, sometimes I get to look at people's stuff and they add a bunch of extra words that just need to answer what's there and keep it short and sweet. So when you add all these extra words and a conflict and all this other stuff, and that opens the door for people to start yakking. And we keep the door shut around here. That's how we roll. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time tonight. I'm going to post a link to, well, you guys can go to Win in Court right there. It's rolling across the bottom right there. You can go over there and get whatever you need. If you got a situation that you need to take care of, appreciate everybody, and I'll see you guys. Yeah. Well, what is today? Today's Friday. Yeah, so Sunday we're going to be back here. We're going to be talking about the credit card stuff, and I'll probably be here tomorrow too. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet, so I need to figure that out. Just making it through one day at a time and keeping up with all the stuff that we're doing. We're going to, so we're helping this one fighter get back in her house. There are a couple of different documents that we're going to add to the premium package, more likely than not, and to the online course. And we'll keep you guys posted on that. Thank you, ML. Sunday, probably going to come. Sunday, I'm going to try to make it 7:30. At 7:30 Mountain Standard Time. That's good for my girlfriend, too, because it's a little later there. So we might do 7:30 on Sunday because I don't have a whole lot going on. So that worked out real well. Some people in other places that are later can. I'm going to go on Sunday. Now, I'm going to post it later. So you need to go by whatever the posting is. But right now, I like to just have it at 7:30 on Sunday because I'm off all day. And my girlfriend's off, so she can come in and help out and share. And it'll be like right after dinner. So, and hopefully it won't be so late. So that's what I'm thinking about. So good night, guys. See you guys, tomorrow. As soon as I figure out, we might do some traffic ticket shit tomorrow. That'd be fun. How to talk to the police, how to talk to the po-po. We'll see. I'll send you guys a thing on tomorrow afternoon. I'm about ready to go to bed. Been a long day. Good night, Nikki.